The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. A man came up to Jesus, knelt down before him, and said, "Lord, have pity on my son, who is a lunatic and suffers severely. Often he falls into fire and often into water. I brought him to your disciples, but they could not cure him." Jesus said in reply, "O faithless and perverse generation, how long will I be with you? How long will I endure you? Bring the boy here to me." Jesus rebuked him, and the demon came out of him. And from that hour, the boy was cured. Then the disciples approached Jesus in private and said, "Why could we not drive it out?" He said to them, "Because of your little faith. Amen, I say to you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." The Gospel of the Lord. Now, today, August the 8th, we celebrate the feast day of St. Dominic. So just a quick little word about him this morning. St. Dominic was, his name was Dominic Guzman. Would be a name familiar to many of us here, the name Guzman. He was born in Castile in Spain. And as a young man, he became a priest, and then discovered that he wanted to be more like Christ. And so he became what you might call an itinerant preacher. In fact, he was a wonderful preacher. And his idea was, like Jesus was, to be on the road and preach wherever he could find an audience. And eventually he founded a congregation called the Dominicans. You'll be familiar with that name. And they are an order of preachers. And he was well versed in the knowledge of God and theology and so on, and lived a very simple life devoted to poverty. And that's something about St. Dominic. Now let's look at the Gospel for a moment this morning. And what is Jesus really saying to us this morning? What is he saying to me? What is he saying to you? And what was the difference between Jesus and the apostles? And what was the difference between that man whose son was possessed, went to the apostles, and then came to Jesus? What was the difference? And the difference was faith. Now, what do we mean by faith? Well, put it this way: if I believe that there are three persons in God, and yet one God, that's fine, but it's in the head. It's not going to make any great difference in my life. But we must transfer that faith into trust. That's the difference. And real faith in God is identical to real trust in God. So I think much more important is to be able to say, "Lord, I trust in you," rather than say, Lord, I believe in you. Very often the belief doesn't move us, if you use that phrase. So apply that to our present situation where we are at this moment on the 8th of August 2020. We're all going through a difficult time, and as time goes on, I don't think any of us are immune from the effects of the pandemic. We may not contract it, but still, it really is. It affects everybody. It affects us mentally. And a lot of people that I've spoken to recently feel that. They use phrases like, it's a weird time. Well, it is really, yeah. And I don't know what day of the week I have, or nothing is normal. Well, no, nothing is normal as we were used to. And the thing is, we've got to get used to what we're going through now. It's not going to disappear overnight. If we listen to the doctors and to science, it's not. It's going to be here for quite some time, even after we find, or they find, the scientists find a vaccine. So is there any antidote to it? And I think there is. Now is the time to show our faith, to show our trust in the Lord. I think that's what we've got to do, to be able to say from the heart, not just from the lips, Lord, I trust in you.